When I was looking for my first full-time job, my resume was landing me interviews to an astounding 70% of the jobs I applied to, and that is because I had carefully refined my resume to stop making these 5 mistakes that I'm going to tell you about right now. Those mistakes were starting with your experience, describing your responsibilities in bullet points under each job, not including the right keywords for ATS scanners, picking the wrong resume templates, and one more big one that I'm going to tell you about at the end. So the first mistake I stopped making was starting my resume with my professional experience. With hundreds of other people applying to the jobs that we're interested in, we need to do something to get the person reading this resume super excited about us before they dive in and read all our bullet points, or else they're not going to. So before my professional experience, I started adding things like a professional summary, and here's a formula for one that you can use word for word. I'd also give myself a couple of titles, like you can see here right at the top, so they know who I am at a quick glance, and I like to add an areas of expertise section so they can quickly see that I have all the skills that they need me to have to do this job well. The second mistake I stopped making was describing my job responsibilities in bullet points under each job that I had held. Or rather, I stopped only describing my job responsibilities. Instead of doing that, here's what I did. In this top section, I would describe how I came to join the organization and then list my responsibilities before diving into bullet points where I would focus on the accomplishments and value that I added to the company. So you can see here, I use what has now become my badass bullet point formula, where I start each bullet point with an action verb, then lead into some specific and, where possible, quantifiable detail, and make sure to, every chance I can, also mention a result in those bullet points so they know that the work I did led to the success of my company and my team. When you focus on your accomplishments in your bullet points, you are going to get the exact right reaction from the hiring manager. We want them to read our resume bullet points and think, wow, you did that for this company. I want to hire you to come do that for our company. The third mistake I was making was not including the right keywords in my resume. Right now, hundreds of people are able to easily apply to every job with just the click of the button. So a lot of these companies need help from a software called an ATS scanner that is going to automatically review those resumes and look for the best ones. If we want to get past that ATS scan and into the hands of someone who's going to read our resume, we need to use the right keywords. Luckily, they are not that hard to find. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. To find the keywords you need to put in your resume, all you have to do is carefully look through the job posting, and we're going to be looking for 4 things. So first off, any hard skills. These are just things we would be doing in the job that they mention in the job posting. Second is any software or equipment, things that you'll be using to do the job. Third is any industry terminology. These are things that they will want you to have knowledge of to be able to do this job. And finally, anything else in the job posting that seems important. You'll want to include each of these things 2 to 3 times in your resume, word for word if possible. We try to use them in the bullet points as well as in our branding, especially that areas of expertise section that we talked about. The fourth mistake I stopped making on my resume was choosing the wrong template. So the first thing that a lot of people will do wrong is they'll choose a resume template that is overly designed, like these. Now, in these circumstances, these resumes are not going to do very well in the ATS scanners that are reviewing our experience, and they also don't allow for the word count we need to properly express all the great things that we've accomplished. Another mistake people will make in terms of templates is choosing something very bare bones and basic like these. These are boring and they don't catch anyone's eye, and most importantly, they show that you do not put a lot of effort into how you present yourself in a professional way. Your best case scenario is to choose something like these. These are eye-catching, professional, they have plenty of space for you to describe your skills. This is your gold standard in terms of resume templates. Not too flashy, not too boring, right in the middle. The final mistake I stopped making was relying 100% on my resume to get me interviews. Anytime I applied to a job at a company where I already knew someone who worked there, I asked them to put in a good word for me, and my interview rate skyrocketed. From the hiring manager's perspective, hiring someone is a very scary process, mostly because you're not sure if they are actually going to be a good worker. So anytime someone you trust tells you that that person is good, you are much more likely to want to invite them in for an interview. If you found this video useful, my friends, do not forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss my weekly YouTube content coming out covering every important job search topic. Speaking of which, now that we've covered what not to do in your resume, I highly recommend checking checking out one of these videos to learn what you should be doing in your resume. We have videos for experienced professionals and new professionals. I'll see you over there.